So, welcome again everyone to our, well, like we will do like we did last week, like combining the intermediate and advanced class, because I just see no point in really discussing deep chess strategies when we have, well, the World Cup, one of the 2 or 3 most important tournaments in the world going, and especially since we are, well, now we are at the final stage after today, but we left last time, I think it was something like quarterfinals. When we left last time, it was just when Nakamura lost to Korbov. That was actually the game that was, I think, played at the same day that we actually did last Wednesday. And we had Kamsky still in, actually great game beating Mamedov, but you know, we finished with the top American player being knocked out, so we have to continue with the second top American being knocked out, and actually against Tomashevsky, that by now we know he's out of the tournament, but definitely one of the, well, probably the big Cinderella of this tournament, beating Aronian, the world number 2 player, beating Morozevich, beating Kamsky, just beating pretty much everyone, beating Wesley So before that. So this was played, this I believe is in the quarterfinal, right? This was Kamsky Tomashevsky, and the first game was actually a very quick draw. Tomashevsky was white and was just tired of previous round, so not big surprise that they played the Ruy Lopez. Tomashevsky is a very classical player, so expecting e5 from him and all those is very logical. The same from Kamsky, castle, and h3. Like all those moves, h3, d3, a3, a4, all those new moves, basically, if you want to call them new, they are designed for one purpose. What's the purpose? Why not c3? Why people don't play c3 so much, the super classical way? Which one? Yeah, and you know, they just went deep and deeper and deeper and into the marshal, and it was pretty much impossible to find anything there, or at least many people think, just by they not playing, not getting into the marshal anymore. It's like just amazing, just not getting into marshal anymore. So we see all those anti-marshal systems coming on move 8. Sometimes we already see them actually. D3 is becoming more popular. Actually, this move D3 is used for fighting against the Berlin already, instead of going to one other very frustrating opening for white. Just D3 making effort to get something, although not really easy. They play bishop c5, and well, if e5 is one of the toughest openings out there. I mean, in Sicilian, it's not like you can get really advantage, right? I mean, what you say, oh, I can get advantage against Naidov, not going to be that serious claim, but you get a lot of game, right? I mean, you can win, you cannot. In e4, e5, just getting a game is many times the big problem. Okay, something like the marshal. d5, capture, and a4. Of course, after knight takes e5, I'm not 100% certain what they would play here. I think that knight d4, if I remember okay, is one of the main moves. I think it is the main move, and just going after the bishop on b3 and using the long diagonal is just for certain gives black enough play. I mean, there's if we have any questions about those lines, we can stop tiny bit and we can pull out chess base, but if we just want to see the game and tiny get impression, that's what I am tiny bit more for. So a4 was played. Knight d4. Knight d2. Take. Knight b4. Okay, so first question here is, what's going to happen after f6? Well, what do we think will happen after f6? Because it looks very logical move, this f6. Yes.
Knight e5.
Yeah, I mean, if not knight a5, white going to find himself in a big trouble, just one move. For example, let's say that white plays the spectacular king h1. Which move should black play here? I mean, black has a very strong move in this position. Really very strong. Which one would it be? Principal, achieving a lot of things, the way I see it. I mean, nothing gigantic, but just a good move, the way I see it. Yes. Jacob, share with us. Share with us. You have a game next week. You need to get all the energy and fight. So here, you know, this position next week, 1.5, 1.5. You know, like the entire burden of the season is on your shoulders. Something. Which one? C5. Well, saved by Julian sitting next to him. Yeah, C5 is very good. Because, what? That was Jacob. That was Jacob, okay, so Jacob was too modest. No, we take away knight a5, but more importantly, just basic strategy. Actually, there was a game that Anand lost to Caruana this year, like a few months ago. Actually, Caruana said, maybe after it we can have a very quick one, just to see how that game went. Very quick one. Black has this mighty bishop. Light color bishop, very, very pretty one. Well, if we can accompany this bishop by the pawns controlling dark squares, I don't know, I think we'll be very happy, no? I mean, so suddenly look what we have here. The bishop is controlling all the light squares and the pawns are controlling dark squares. No, black is way, way better. But like Jacob mentioned before, yeah, of course knight a5 will be played. This is just bad, and maybe just take and then knight c6, attacking the queen and the rook on a8. And if something like this move, how should white play here? Take everything and then? How come? But then, you know, that's the part where I say that chess is a little bit more science than philosophy. So, no, you're right, but I think white has a very principled, correct move. Take the bishop. All right, good. Now what?
Now the bishop doesn't control the pawn line.
No, that's good. We took the bishop away. Agree. This should be played most likely. But now which move? D4, D4. Why should you release the tension here? Because black would be happy. D4. Black has big weakness, and his pieces are. Oh, the queen is tiny bit far. After take, take. Oh, white is very happy. I mean, e6 is there, equal material. Queen f3. White is the only one playing here, and totally for free. This. The queen can come to g4. Well, I would not want to open the queen side. I don't want to exchange those pieces. I think I do not. So this is the why f6 impossible, because if f6, c5 possible, strategically black is much better. So now, you know, I was analyzing this position actually, just a bit, tiny bit, or actually the question from someone quite strong, like 2400 player. He was asking me, what happened if take? And I just told him, you know, I just play queen d5 and I just have enough positional compensation. The bishops, I think after it computers say similar things. If here, and then, I don't remember what I was thinking. Not the computer move. Computer I think want to play this move. Actually, he has this threat, kind of annoying threat. Take and c2 is vulnerable. Always c2 is a big weakness. So white didn't want to get a marshal on door A, but he's getting marshal on door B. Similar stuff. So take. Yeah, and here immediately is taking. Maybe after take, I wonder if this is what black wanted to go. First of all, tiny bit exchange and maybe then take, maybe rook take, like for example, because then knight takes c2 doesn't come with any threat. There is no rook on a1 that is tiny bit trapped, like, you know, knight takes c2 and the rook is in trouble. So it was really, if white will give this move, he definitely doesn't want to have a rook here that will be wasting lots of time for him to move. Okay, so black took. Of course the pawn has to take, right? Because this is actually costing a lot of material on the spot. Okay, so basically we got, in whatever version, this position. And two pawns. Two pawns. Now, this is really interesting. We always know about chess, like the material part, right? White is 2 pawns up. But this is a real, you know, I always tell, let's say young students, you know, not too strong, that we analyze with. This is what real chess is about, like taking all the components that we have, material, space, pieces activity, king safety, pawn structure, you know, all of them, throw them together and see what's happening. If one player has 2 pawns up, better structure, safer king, better pieces, okay, the game is over, there's nothing to think about. What is real about chess? This. One player has 2 pawns up, white. He has horrible structure, weak king, and black pieces are more active. That's a real game of chess. I remember the computer was saying here about white is up half a pawn, which means black compensation is equal to a point and a half, right? He's down 2 points, 2 pawns, 2 points, but he's just, computer say only half a point because of that much compensation. Rook e8 makes sense. King g2, h6. Yeah, and here there was a very, very cool idea, I think. Tomashevsky played knight d5. Okay, we cannot say it's illogical. But there are some other ideas in the position. Actually quite a cool ones. Anyone want to think about some, suggest some ideas? Which move? No, but for white knight, if white can play knight e4, he will be the happiest dude out there, at least in Norway. But it's black to play.
Rook e5.
Rook e5. I will take this knight. You will take this knight. Then I will, let's say, play rook to e4. Let's put it on the board. Every piece that goes out of the board, little party for white, right? He's up 2 pawns. Every piece that goes out, let's attack. For example, this position, I think black is selling nothing. Next move, queen e2, bishop f4, g3. Black is losing here, just resigning here. I mean, really 2 pawns and nothing. No, black has to keep the game going. He has to keep some game. If I remember, okay, this was a really cool idea. Take, take. What a bizarre pin. What a bizarre pin with the beautiful threat of knight a2 attacking the bishop, and impossible to defend the bishop on c1. I mean, and this is amazing, like checkmate to the bishop. Kind of amazing. The bishop is trapped. So I think there were some lines like queen going somewhere, and I don't remember exactly. This was one idea. Take and queen to a1. But Tomashevsky, okay, was a bit afraid to go into something like that. So he played here, knight e4, attacking the rook that is on the wrong spot. If white's rook is on f1, I think black is a bit in trouble, but the rook is a bit on wrong spot. Knight take. Now here is a question, did Kamsky really have to take there? Yeah, c4 something. c4, k5. Yeah, I somehow I think that this knight d5 was not best. I mean, he had to take, if I remember okay, and queen a1. But yeah, here interesting. Remember, Kamsky was playing very, very decent chess. I mean, probably best chess before this game. And actually, okay. I mean, let's see. If he would have beat Tomashevsky, who Tomashevsky got after it? Immediately Andrei. Yeah, Kamsky would have been a favorite against Andrekin, I think, the way he played. Like, that's really, really... And he has no... Okay, both American, like also Nakamura was having very, very okay. If he had beat Korbov. Yeah, I like c4 more. I mean, somehow, to give away this knight, I find it a bit scary, this knight looks like just good defender out there. And if black wants to kick it, okay, let him play a5, which is tiny bit weakening. It's another move, it's tiny weakening. Take. c4 now. Yeah, I'm not certain why he didn't play c4 move earlier. c6, rook b3. Is this move possible, rook a5? I mean, I think we can maybe go here. Well, actually, I want to think a bit. Maybe something like this. Check. And if king goes here, maybe knight here. Just the pawns look so ridiculously weak. But maybe d4. And if here, here. Okay, I can take already one pawn. It's not so horrible. Take one pawn and then go back. I mean, looks just by the look of it, looks somewhat reasonable. But actually, no. I think this is just a much better move. Of course, just this double attack. Yeah, I mean, actually, white is the one that should be worried in this position because the king is so weak. Here is a big question. Should white continue to play for a win here, or should white think about making a draw? Making a draw, right? Okay, we know that he lost, so we are super smart. But I think that, you know, obviously Kamsky is very, very strong, and his position was still okay a few moves after, but I think that and actually he's a clearly better rapid player than Tomashevsky, because Kamsky had some very decent rapid tournaments. Like, it's a bit tiny surprising, but yeah, in blitz I think he's definitely weaker than many players. But in rapid, actually, he won Mainz tournament with huge score a few years ago, and I think he should have just go for a draw and go see after it. This was the critical position that he started going wrong. Okay, which move to play here for white? White has one move to play here if he has dreams about winning here. Yes, anyway, yes?
D4 maybe?
D4 for certain. Right, you have to tiny bit get the rook somewhere. So here, here, here. That's the thing. Black just want to attack the pawn. Well, you kinda cannot protect the pawn, right? King G2 will check, check. No, go here and so on. You know, just dance around. So the pawn on H3 cannot be defended. But you have rook E3. That's the big thing about D4. Take, take, and now pretty much only one move for black to play, very logically. You don't want to exchange rooks, right? So play this move. And this was the position that is very critical. I mean, Tomashevsky has 5 minutes, Kamsky has 3. So yeah, it's tiny bit roulette already. Like, I mean, okay, it's 10. Position is so complicated actually. Like a lot of calculations needs here. That playing the next 10 moves is completely different than playing 10 basic moves in an opening. That will take you a second, or a position that the pattern is so clear. To me, it was really interesting because I was looking at this game and I thought, no, I thought white's better. No, what to? I mean, I can tell you that I was smartest man in the world and I knew that black is okay or whatever, but it kind of looked like white somewhat better. I mean, the king looks safe and extra pawn, but it was interesting after it to hear Tomashevsky saying that he thought white has no way to play for a win here. No, the way the game turned, is very correct. Basically, he's saying, look, B3, rook to A8. Okay, he wants to go here and here. Not very bad. D5. Now, he cannot actually do that immediately, of course, because of checkmate. But that's the idea. He wants to have the rook somewhat active. And queen back to D7. And here Tomashevsky said, look, white king is weak. The H pawn is dangerous. This was amazing to feel how dangerous this pawn is, because you think the king is so close, but and white's extra pawn is meaningless. I mean, the times couldn't be more identical, so this is not a factor here. Kamsky should have probably taken a draw, and okay, looking at his face after the game, you know, nobody enjoys losing, especially not at this stage, especially not in this situation. But there are some situations that I think I described it that Kamsky beat himself other than the opponent beat him. Yeah, I mean, Tomashevsky played excellent, but Kamsky could have pretty much just played logical, simple here, not go for too much. This is where he started losing the game. Rook A6 is a good move, just stopping the pawn advancing. And the rook is gonna, this is the rook that's gonna win the game. B4. But what is this, what and where is this pawn going? Well, this is a pawn that's very dangerous. Super outside pass pawn. Queen D4. I think if I'm not mistaken, now he's already losing. I think so. Yeah, because now those were two horrible moves. Because now how to stop really the pawn? That's the question. I mean, if the queen goes to H4, how should black play here?
Look down. Oh, check the pawn out. Look down.
Rook here. Yeah, actually, this is just a simple one. I was okay. This is a very good. This is the best move, or the easiest one. I actually wanted to show that I think white king is very vulnerable, just left with no defenders. But this is of course the best move. Just the pawn is going to be a queen. That's not really bad. So how to stop this pawn? Suddenly, kind of impossible. What?
By getting checkmated.
By getting checkmated. Yeah. So actually, what should he have played here? I don't know. I mean, you know, part of it is that I have some ideas about the games, but I'm looking at it pretty much like you, just because I think that's the most entertaining way. You know, like we are both sharing and looking instead of coming with huge gigantimo analysis, and then it's more like lecturing instead of analyzing together. But what to play here?
Queen d4 now.
Maybe queen d4 now. Right. But if rook a2, tiny bit scary. Rook d4, queen a2, tiny bit scary. No, white's position is not so much fun already. Maybe just like f4, you know? Let me play this f4. So the rook is alive, and then I can pull my king. This I can live with. f4 and I can pull my king. This I think I can live with. Queen g4, okay. Okay, you know, everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. Unless I get checkmated or lose the queen, then I'm not happy. So this is not so happy. This is not happy also. Which one? Rook e4. Yeah, rook e4, I think you are right. No, but this king is so weak. Huh. And if this, for example, you'll go here. Okay, this is okay. I mean, I was looking for a second about something like this, but that's a recipe for losing for black. Yeah, rook e4 is an excellent move. Just stopping the pawn and maybe getting the king whenever possible to some safety, if possible. Makes sense? Yeah, I just remember that on move 35, 36, it just, because now you just cannot lose the game. It's so easy actually to underestimate this pawn because it looks like the king is so close. So he played king f1, and now for people that didn't see the game, for people that saw the game, shush. For people that didn't see the game, I'll give you two minutes to think, 3 minutes to think. I'll give you 2 minutes and 26 seconds to think how to win here. Yeah, you just say.
Play h2.
King g2.
Queen h3 check.
Take.
Mode check.
And probably gonna win, right? Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna get some kind of checkmate going down there.
Yeah, there's gonna be something. I totally agree with you. I mean, or gonna cost the queen. Like probably this is something like best version. Yeah. I mean, Tomashevsky did it other way around, which is just kind of simpler. I mean, that's totally right idea. Totally okay. No, this winning.
Just like giving up.
He played this move. He gave a queen. For you see, just that he gave an extra one. He says, "Well, give me one." Okay, then take it. It's nicer, right? Like this, it's yours back. Yeah, no rook a1 checkmate because of, oh my gosh, that can be not pleasant. But after rook g6, not very pretty. Yeah, actually, if I remember, okay, I think this was like checkmate in 7 moves, something like. Computer was so happy, but. Yeah, I just seen this moment of the game and one other before, and I know that this was around equalish, and suddenly after h3 maybe -5 or something, just winning. So, no, not an easy way to get out of the World Cup. I mean, a game that it was clear that white was, you know, black was playing to equalize when he had compensation. Black at no point was pressing to checkmate white. He was 2 pawns down. The maximum that he could get is 1 pawn down with a dangerous pawn. No, and Kamsky here kind of blew it big time. So this is the story of Kamsky. Well, now we're going to see the story of the last year winner. That is not a bad one. Peter Svidler playing against the player that is at the final. No, this is amazing, this system. Amazing. He's at the final. He won 1 game in a normal time control. 1 game in a normal time control. He's down 8 rating points, so it makes his performance like 2650. Okay, a decent Grandmaster performance, I think, something like that. A strong Grandmaster, but not World Cup, and he's going to play for the World Cup, and that is Andrekin. And his amazing strategy is, okay, I don't need to win on normal time. For this we have rapid, we have blitz. I can play there and win. It's not bad, but, well, we'll see how he did it to Peter. Yeah, he hasn't been playing amazing chess in the last, I don't know, few months, but he's amazingly strong blitz player, amazingly, clearly one of the best in the world, and very strong rapid player. So, but on the other hand, his opponent Svidler is pretty much the same. I mean, I think in normal chess, I think Svidler is a stronger player, but in rapid or blitz, unclear. So, what is this system? You know, I like to tiny bit discuss this. Well, what does this system tell an amateur that's looking at the game? Yes, but why is white playing it? Controlling e4, no, but the bigger strategical view of that, what is it? The bigger strategical view. To me, is saying, dude, I'm just going to move the pieces to the right squares. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to get a decent position, healthy one, push the clock hard and fast, and we'll play rapid. No, that's not, it's not a bad one. I mean, there are many of the world best players. Not everyone play in blitz like, I don't know, like Kasparov or you know, Fischer. Okay, Fischer was absolutely unbelievable to his generation in blitz. Like, I mean, I remember some tournaments, I think in Manhattan, he won like 22.5 out of 23 or 24. Like, I mean, he was best player in the world in chess by far, but in blitz, it was several times by far at that time. But, no, okay. You just want to get okay position and not blunder and get the game going. And that's exactly what he's doing. Look. Okay, does this seem solid enough for white, or should we put another 2 pawns just to make it? But it's not bad. I can tell you, many levels under. I used to play quite a lot of simul's online for ICC, the Internet Chess Club. And when I played simul's, it depends on the mood. If I wanted really to score very high, I played those structures because they are easiest and fastest structures to play. And if you're in a simul, you can produce a decent move within 2 seconds. 2 seconds, nothing dramatically is happening. If I was more in the mood of, okay, let's have fun, then I play d4 main lines, e4 main lines, just anything. But when you're playing for World Cup, yeah, and you're playing rapid, white just wants to get a game, and if he gets a game with something tiny bit in it, he's going to be very, very happy. So take. It's interesting. Usually white in those positions, if there were more pieces, I think white will take with the e-pawn. When white takes with the e-pawn, if there are more pieces, usually it means that he wants to open the e-file and he wants to think about some way to attack black. But there are no pieces on the board to do that. So I thought that this is logical, and we have to give white slight advantage here. Why do we have to give white slight advantage? Well, one tiny reason. I mean, it's not really big one, but one tiny reason. Why is that? Black's knight on a6 is not pretty, right? If the knight was on c6, okay, I think not really that much to discuss. Queen e7, so the knight can come back from b4. Castle. And he actually did it the other way. I thought that knight b4 was also a possibility. But maybe this one is better. Maybe knight b4, he gets something like this, and not that a bit less easy. Okay. Okay, all in all, kind of nothing. Really big nothing. Still tiny better to play for white, but I think just because of this weakness, the pawn is here, so tiny bit the squares are weak, and okay, basically somewhat more space in the center, if you want to put it this way. Queen b7, queen a3. By the way, this is what's important, you know? It's very, very serious. The position is probably 0-1, but those 6 minutes advantage, they already mean something. Okay, maybe not much, but maybe they are another 0-1 or another 0, something. In none of the game, you know, we will speak a lot about Bashir in the second part of this World Cup review. When you see strong players and you see that they are constantly ahead of the time in rapid, in blitz, they're very comfortable, and comfortable means a lot. Is White much better here? Not at all. He feels more comfortable and he's playing faster. That's what you need to do to play rapid very well. f5. Okay, was it necessary? Not clear, but okay, he wants to control this square. Okay. Now here is an interesting moment. When I was looking at this game after, I was wondering, I thought Black has a simple continuation in my view, and I have no idea what White is going to show after it. Well, what would make sense for you? Let's say just make it as simple as possible to equalize completely on the board. What would it be? Knight takes, knight pawn take. And d5? I totally agree. When I was looking at this was my first thought. I think it's okay. Because, for example, if Black would play, I don't know, okay, let's go again to our genius, brilliant moves. I don't know, you know, speaking about some complications, I'll play d5, queen back. Do you prefer to be White here when your opponent has, let's say, 8 minutes, you have 20? I think it's risk-free for White. Black king is weak, d5 is weak, f5 is weak. White might get a better structure. Not clear how to defend all the pawns. For example, maybe this move. I think Black just now maybe just trouble, not unpleasant already, right? I mean, if here we first take with a check. So just d5, you know, the less noise, the easier. And what for White in this position? What does White have here? But how? That's the thing, because he cannot, you know, it looks like technically he's putting pressure on the c file, but he's not, because whenever the rook moves, rook c4, rook c2, I mean, exchanging rooks, nothing. I mean, this is, when I looked at that, it's like as much nothing as possible. Yeah, this to me, okay, but again, you know, people are, I said, I started in a negative approach about Andrekin, but there is no negative approach. If that's what's working for him, you know, it's like, then great, then, you know, he will win the World Cup and everyone will say, wow, but he didn't win one, you know, he lost rating points, he did, okay, great, so people will say, you know, at the end of the day, you know, at the buzzer, you don't really remember why someone won, and if, I don't know, they played nasty, no, they did this, that. You remember the score. Look, it's 20 minutes, 19 minutes versus 8. The position is equal, but he feels comfortable and he's in his territory. You know, it's like the world champion Anand kept his title in, wow, you know, those rapid games. So, knight b4. Yeah, I don't like this way by Svidler, because he played this. Okay, so he's a pawn down, White, but suddenly this king looks weak. This beautiful knight looks tiny less beautiful. Objectively, the position is probably okay for Black. I think computer was saying it's okay, but I for certain would like to play this, and I don't like to give a pawn. I really don't. But I like to play this with White. 10 minutes more on the clock. black king is weak. White is playing with no risk at all, like zero. I think very easy for white to play. Knight b4, take, take, queen f3. Okay, so this is his threat, right? a5, rook e6. No, it's not pleasant to play for black. I mean, what does he want? Check and take to start with, I guess, right? Some things like that. Something. Although we have to be careful, because is this really a threat, by the way? Let's say we go here. I just wonder if this is a threat, because this is possible, and then take. So I'm not totally certain this is a threat. It's not a threat, right? Because I cannot say anything here for white. First of all, okay, Svidler pulled his king immediately. Maybe same idea. I mean, just something like this. Now this is a very big one, actually. No, because this attacking everything, and the king cannot escape because of queen, rook take h6. I play this move. Of course, a4 is a super random, meaningless move, but I just want to understand what's the threat. Always in such position, you should ask yourself, okay, what my opponent want to do if I give him, if I just push the clock and do nothing. I think this is a decent threat. Maybe also this one in some situations. This was played. Queen g3. It's a very strong move. You know, he wants to take here. If this move, okay, queen g6 and take. This move is not working because of, why is this move not working? Rook e7 is not a bad one, winning the game immediately, right? Yeah, so quite a lot of pressure, you know, black is here. I mean, he's probably gonna lose the pawn. No, white is quite clearly better here. And okay, actually Andrekin spent a lot of time, not surprisingly, when he was a pawn down, okay, then you really want to be accurate, because you don't want somehow for the initiative to slip and then you find, yeah, you had initiative, but now you're a pawn down and fighting for it. But Svidler, okay, the winner of previous World Cup and always, you know, amazingly strong player in all those things. I mean, Andrekin, it's his first time being so Russian champion, Svidler 6 times, so played knight d5. I can tell you that I was looking at this position and okay, this was my first instinct, and white is much better here, but yeah, that's not the move that was played. This is the second best move, but it's so ridiculously wrong compared to the move that was actually played. So what was played here? One move. How?
Queen over.
To where? b3?
3.
You beat him! You killed him! That was played. Excellent job! Very good. Resign. Very good. Just resigned. Yeah, that was very good, because whenever the knight is under attack and if it goes, I said that, no, I forgot that we spoke before about the c5 in the previous game, just to show the bishops, the light colors, and the pawns on the squares.
I didn't like that move. I liked the rook down. Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that move better.
Oh, yeah. Queen f7. Right. I also, when I looked at that the first time, that was also my idea, and I blundered it the second time. But okay, rook e7. Very good.